I love pizza, but it's not Italian, it's not Roman. Alright, so Rome is full of secrets. If you're planning your trip to this place, there's 10 things that you don't know, and probably you should. The tradition here is to toss a coin into the fountain. Now my question is, did you know that they actually take all the money from here every single day?
Oh, every day? I thought once a year or so.
No, every day, and guess how much?
300 euros?
No, it's actually over $3,000 every day.
Oh my God.
So they come at the end of the day, they get all the money, and this goes to charity. Over a year, it's around $1 million, which is insane. $1 million. Oh, because tourists, obviously, we think toss a coin into the fountain, and that means a return visit to Rome. It's nice to believe that's true. On the other hand, it's a lot of money, but I'm glad that at least it goes to charity.
Yeah, it's
to
used
help people.
For a nice purpose.
Yeah.
But imagine if they didn't clean every day, so you wouldn't even see the water.
Exactly. And also the reason we are filming from here is that when we go down, it's just madness.
Yeah, we were walking on the silent roads. It's like, oh, it looks very quiet. And then the closer you get to the fountain, then you see the reality.
Yeah, it's one of those places packed. So the next thing you probably didn't know is cats. They rule the city. Approximately, Rome has over 300,000 cats. There's actually a law, a Roman law, saying that if 5 cats or more are living sort of together, you cannot cat them, which means they have legal rights actually to stay in that place.
Passaporte Italiano.
Passaporte Italiano. If you're a cat lover, this is probably the place to come and see them all. Probably the next thing you didn't know is that this place is almost 2,000 years old and has been in continuous operations since then. At the beginning it was a Roman temple, and then I think it was a Catholic church. If you go inside, you will see there's monuments. What's crazy is that the dome is still original. The largest dome made out of unreinforced concrete in the world, still after 2,000 years. This is one of the things in Rome, that everything is so old and you cannot really believe how is it still standing here. Of course, there's always maintenance changes and stuff, but everything's such an old thing.
Plus, lots of buildings are built on old ruins as well, so you cannot really even see what was before. So it's kind of lost city in a way.
The one thing probably you don't know either, Rome has over 2,500 fountains, and it's drinkable water. People are scared to drink here. I don't know why. It's okay. It tastes like seagull water, but it's still very nice when you're thirsty. So the other thing that you probably didn't know is that these Spanish steps are actually not Spanish. But long story short, funded by French, crafted by 2 Italian architects. So the only reason they're called Spanish steps is just because the whole embassy from Spain was here. That's the truth. Ni una peseta española, nada, nieco, zero, niente, no Spanish money, just French money and Italian architects. For the next thing that you probably didn't know, I want to play a game. How old is Rome?
More than 2,000 years old?
You were actually very close. Italy back in the days was a bunch of different cities, and they didn't really have like a common ruler till late 19th century. And that's when they annexed Rome to the country. Of course, Rome was completely independent back in the days, which means 2,500 years old, making the city older than the country itself. Okay, so there's one other thing that you probably didn't know. But only 10% of Rome has been excavated, which means there must be a lost city underground, and we don't know. And this makes sense when you think that over 2,000 years there has been so many people here and things have been developed, buildings and houses. From my perspective, it's very unlikely that there will be a moment when the city will be fully excavated, which is crazy. Seriously, there must be something going on underground and we need to find out. Okay, so let's see now if we can do a time lapse. And if it's good, and if we are lucky, you're gonna see this.
I love pizza, but it's not Italian, it's not Roman. Back in the days it was more similar to flatbreads, and the ancient Greeks were already topping this with herbs, cheese, garlic and so on. And the tomato sauce was not actually in the original pizza, it only appeared in Europe at the end of the 18th century. Tomato sauce was not there because it was believed that the tomato back in the days was a poisonous thing. People were not willing to eat tomatoes. But then, after decades, the pizza came with the tomato sauce, and it's more similar to the pizza we know today. Let me tell you, I love pizza, I love Rome, but this is not from here. Sorry, I know you didn't know either.
The other thing you didn't know, San Pietro Basilica used to be the largest church in the world for 300 years, but they lost the title to Ivory Coast because in 1985 the president decided to begin the construction of a basilica over there. In any case, San Pietro can accommodate up to 60,000 people versus I think 18,000 or so in Ivory Coast. So still the largest in a way, but in terms of square foot, no longer the largest in the world. The other thing you didn't know is that Rome is the number one in the world in terms of Catholic churches. They have over 900 Catholic churches. So if this place, San Pietro, is too much for you because it's super, super crowded, you can always go to Rome and have a lot of other options.
I mean, go to Rome, literally, like walk this 50 meters.
Yeah, this is the thing, because the Vatican in theory is like a state, independent state, which is considered like a country if you want. But yeah, you're literally 7 minutes drive away from the hassle in Rome. And then probably the other thing, right now, if you want to enter St. Peter's, it's a nightmare.
Yeah, I didn't even see the end of the queue. I just see people coming from everywhere.
My advice, our advice, I think, is come at 7 a.m. when they open and you are inside within 5 minutes.
Yeah, getting the best pictures, having time to enjoy.
Yeah.
Just, wake up a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
The trips can be a bit hard. But
Because if you come around lunchtime like now, you're gonna waste probably half an hour.
yeah, but don't take it negatively. Just be ready that it's a bit of long waiting time.
If you stay till here, you're a legend, so I'm pretty sure you won't be selfish and you will be sharing this video with a friend. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, see you next week.